sounds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spelunkers, a game exploration podcast. My name is Tom, and we are doing Transistor. And I am joined again by Tyler.
Hello.
Chris.
Hi.
Ryan.
We say it at the end every time, but y'all should join the Discord. You can leave comments for the games in there. Recommend games to play. Maybe join us.
I don't recommend joining there. It's awful.
But if you do, you can be... If you do join, you could be like our guest today who loved talking about garbage games so much last time. She's back again. Welcome, Skelly.
Guys, remember Factoria's multiplayer. You guys take the shots. It's a good game. It didn't release last year, but it's still a good game.
Yeah.
I think before anybody else says anything, is this game garbage, fine, or recyclable, Skelly? Or
It's
build
recyclable.
It's recyclable. I don't know if it's recyclable.
It's recyclable. There's a recursive playthrough.
Maybe.
There's a recursive playthrough.
Oh, there
But
sure is.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't the main point the story?
Hmm?
The story's
what?
kind of just meh after you beat it again. Is it really thrilling?
I really enjoyed the gameplay and mechanics.
Okay, good. Gameplay, mechanics, sound, like the skills, visual, music, yes. Story,
I like the story too.
How's everybody else
I thought it was
feeling on
good.
it?
Pretty hot. Really dig this game.
I'm sizzling, dude.
How are you feeling, Tyler? Tell us how you feel.
Very mediocre about the whole experience.
lukewarm, not hot.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say lukewarm. Definitely.
It's like
room
bathwater
temperature.
that's been sitting for like 20 minutes.
You got a weird thing with
Like
bath.
moonshine bathwater.
It's like Belle Delphine's bathwater. It's been sitting
Yeah.
It's
Post mailing.
just to give like behind the scenes. So this is my second time playing the game. I played it originally like around launch, maybe a year after launch. And so I tried to boot up a save from my PS4 version on my PS5, and it does not support the PS4 version on PS5, and you can't play it on the PS5. And I thought I had a workaround where I was playing it and it was letting me get through the game, but it kept saying, hey, the game doesn't support it. Some shit might get fucked up. And boy, did shit get fucked up. And my game completely crashed, and I lost all my save files, and then it corrupted my Cyber Shadow save file as well, so I had to restart that. So fuck this game.
I feel like you may be a bit jaded.
I mean, the
100%.
same thing happened to me because I started on the PS5, played like an hour and a half, and got off, and it said it wasn't going to save it. I'm like, what the fuck? So I got done, and it saved a little bit of it. So I started playing again, about another hour, because it saved after about 20 minutes. Fucking didn't save it again. So then I had to buy it on the Switch, and I was playing on the Switch, and I have a Switch Lite, so I'm just playing it on like.
Well, and like the difference with Tom and I is I started playing it on the PS5 and I was like, hey, I have this thing that keeps popping up. And he's like, well, it's not even letting me get past the first 30 minutes. At this point, I was already
Is it like crashing?
No,
you could play it, but if I wanted to beat it in one playthrough, like I have to play it straight through, beginning to end in one go.
It doesn't save. But mine was saving at the time. And I did multiple test runs, and like I kept shutting it off, turning it back on, and it was starting right back up where I left off. And then I got halfway through the game, and then it completely corrupted the save file, and then it corrupted another save file for another game, and pulled that along with it into the fucking depths of hell wherever it went.
Yeah,
I played on PC. It worked great.
I had to buy it on Switch and replay it again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it actually corrupted my external hard drive for my PS5, but luckily it didn't like destroy it. I just had to reboot the PS5 and everything came back. But like anything that was installed on my external hard drive, I couldn't do it unless I rebooted my PS5 completely.
Wow.
So
It works great on PC.
Switch one's wonderful.
well, I already had it from PlayStation Plus from
Yeah.
when it originally came out. So I'm like, okay, that's not a big deal. And then I spent $20 on it to get it on the Switch.
Dang.
So
It plays fine on Switch.
I mean, I would have liked it if I didn't have to play it on a screen this big, but
That's true.
It's okay.
You really didn't like the 3DS at all, then I assume.
No.
Oh,
I don't. Most handhelds I can't do. My old man hands and their arthritic awfulness don't like
fair.
that. When your hands are just like this. Not
yeah, you
good.
should try playing. So I'm playing through Phantom Hourglass right now, and going back and playing on the DS, it is really fucking hard because you forget like how tiny it is, and you have to use the stylus for so much. So you're like sitting there holding it like this, and it is not ergonomic in any way, shape, or form.
That's why you just get the emulators and just pretend.
I still like the 3DS. I've been playing it a lot over the past several years still. I still use it all the time. Love it. So screw you guys, is what I'm saying. No, but to establish real quick.
All right, hold on. Let me mute Chris.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Let me also mute me. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this game. I am at that lukewarm level, so probably a little above Tyler, but I think it's definitely Supergiant's weakest game. It's the only game where I tried to play it when it came out, of theirs that I tried to play when it came out, and I fell off, like maybe 40 minutes in or something, and I never went back. You know, Pyre, Bastion, and especially Hades, as soon as I started them, I just played hours and hours. I played until I finished, basically, except Hades, because that's like 500 hours long, if you want it to be. And this one, I fell off of it, and I'm glad that I came back to it, because I love that studio so much, but yeah, like, I see why I fell off of it. There's a lot of things I don't particularly like, and I think the ending in particular is atrocious, but we'll talk about it.
I like this more than Hades.
Yeah,
It's
me
weird.
too.
I find
by
that
a
weird.
considerable
You,
amount.
you
That
were
is
like
so
all
wild.
praise for Hades, and
Hades
Yeah,
is
Hades is
really
good.
good. Hades
right,
is
but
really good.
the fact that this is better than Hades
yeah,
this is
definitely.
better than
for
Hades.
like
Yeah.
what, a 3.5 hour game ish. I don't know.
That's okay.
They do a lot with those 3.5 hours.
I mean, I
Do
like
not wanna
everything
play
except
Hades now.
I like everything except, like I said, the story. Like, I'm lukewarm on the story, but like the mechanics of everything, the upgrade system, like how you can allocate the skills into other skills, I really like that. But
I like the way that allocating different skills into different slots gets you more story.
Oh, I thought you were
just
gonna
by
keep going
reading
after
them?
that.
yeah, you just gotta stop.
Yeah. No. Well,
No,
Tom
I
brought
thought
up
it was
another
really
good point.
good. I loved the mechanics. The mechanics were good. Combat was fun. I liked the interesting take on like turn-based combat. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I like that you don't have to just do it turn based. You can do it
Mhm.
because some battles are easier just going through
Yeah,
fluid.
Basically, 100% of that game was tactics for me.
I thought
Yeah,
it was really
same.
fun.
That's the only. I only play that game like a tactics game.
Since we're talking about it, I'm pretty sure somebody had a comment about that specific thing. As soon as I click on the diddly do.
Yeah.
Ah,
Roth?
yes, Garoffel's did. How do you prefer to play through Transistor? So, fluid action or the programming in tactical? He spent the majority of his time engaging in action more, but in high stress, near death switched to programming the encounter. I mean, that's pretty much how I did it. It all depended.
I was
Um,
primarily tactical, I would say.
the
Especially as
most
I got
part-
better at the game.
Like, if it was something quick, like if I'm chasing around those goddamn cluckers or whatever the hell those fucking things were,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I would
Mother
just
cluckers.
zip to them quick and just kill them.
Yeah, little
I
egg
hated
guys.
that. Yeah, the egg guys. Fucking hated them.
Yeah, anytime
Oh.
turn was available, I would just use it, and then I
Mm.
used bounce a million times, and then after I used that, I had the, like, I don't remember which one you put in, but it's the one where even when your turn is like filling up, you can still use that skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
had
yeah.
John.
Dash or whatever, yeah, jump.
Yeah, I had that on ping, and I just spammed that. But that's
Since
like
we're-
the rapid fire
Yeah.
bullet.
Since we were also just talking about skills, we'll just didn't Jay have something in here?
J.
Yes.
Walter Weatherman.
Yeah. Why can I not see it?
In podcast comments, are you looking?
Oh,
in-
see, I'm in Transistor. That's why.
What are you doing?
What ability did you never take off? Did you ever take the time to read all the lore? See, I did read all the lore, but I don't retain any of it, of all the people that have all the skills, or what do they call them? Functions.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
quite
they're-
get all of them.
I read them all, but I didn't give a fuck about any of them.
Yeah, it was too much information to try to retain.
It,
all
it
of it.
was a lot, but I did enjoy it in the beginning. So, like, the first 4 or 5, like, I got kind of into it, and then after you weren't getting them from people anymore, like, you were just obtaining the function, then I
Yeah.
would forget to go back into my menu,
Dude,
log
I
it
didn't-
up, and look at all
That's
of
fair.
it.
I didn't fucking care at all. I was like, this is a football player. And I was like, who gives a fuck? Like, where is my
fair.
sword boyfriend? And where's his body? Like, what the fuck is
Oh,
And
this?
we'll
okay.
never know. We'll
So,
never know.
That's not one of my other problems with it is, does it ever say who the fuck is in Transistor? Like,
Yeah,
in
it was the guy.
oh, but I know that, but who the fuck was he? Like, are we talking? Is this like
Just
He
Right.
was never named. He was
That's
never
right.
this was
named.
a boyfriend, or this was like some creepy
Yeah, no,
stalker
they were
going
lovers.
straight Chris
They were
wearing
lovers.
Ezra's
Yeah.
skin?
No,
I mean,
they were
context
lovers.
clues.
He was her
Definitely
bodyguard. He was her bodyguard because she was a singer, and he was.
Doesn't
her
mean it was his
bodyguard to fall in
bodyguard.
love. Yeah, he's a boxer. That's why his hands are all bandaged. And he was hired as a bodyguard.
I think you're just
No, I
drifting that
swear!
way.
No, I swear. I watched
She
interviews
read the
about
lore.
it. Yeah, and I read the lore.
She didn't
No,
give
I
a
just
shit,
thought
but
it
she
was
read it.
creepy. Yeah, I think this is just a creepy stalker, and this made the game
Dude,
very
what the
strange.
fuck? No, that would make the game
Let's
really
start it from the
bad.
beginning, and we can work our way up through it. Then that way
His
we
name was
can-
like Auden or something in the game files. Not that I looked or anything though.
Oh. So since we're talking about him, this
Yes.
is how you start the game, pulling a giant computer sword out of his chest.
Yes. AKA
And
the
he-
transistor.
Yes, he's the transistor, and he narrates. I do like the narration in Bastion better than I like it in Transistor. Except for
Why?
when the transistor gets drunk,
It's so
when he's
cute.
by the spine, because that's pretty weird and kind of hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's
Um,
like getting corrupted or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which also reminded me of WandaVision, but we won't talk about that. With the bubblegum scene, which is also pretty hilarious.
Yeah, pretty good scene.
But yeah, this is the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think for a beginning of the game?
Pull the sword out.
No context. Pull your
It's
sword
really
out. Look at your
what's
dress
crazy
on the
about
ground.
The way the game starts is just like, okay, hey, I'm pretty sure he's like saying, hey, over here,
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
here, and then you go over there and like.
Well,
if you're
because it
playing-
starts off with the picture. and
Yeah.
so you're just sitting there with the sword stabbed into the stalker or bodyguard
It was
boxer.
they were. Part
He
of the
says we're not going to get away with this, Red. Quotes it exactly.
But I like that how it's just like, hey, over here, you know, and then like you pick the sword up, especially if you had the PlayStation controller, because it's like coming through the speakers of the controller,
Yeah.
and it just like the computerized voice just is like, hey, what are we doing here? And it's like the mystery begins, but then it just kind of like throws you out there and you start walking around.
So-
and it's like 5 seconds later you're in combat.
While
Yes.
you were playing on the PS5, Tyler, did you notice the light
Yes,
on the side of the touchpad? Well, every
Yeah.
time he talks, it's like
Yeah. It's
That's so
more
cool.
noticeable if you're
That's
playing on
cool.
the PS4, which is what I played on originally, because that light bar is so fucking bright.
But I like it more on the PS5 because it's just like how it glows on the side of the touchpad rather than just fucking beam of light shooting out of the front.
That's so cool. I love that.
It also reminded me of Wheeljack from Transformers, his little side things that light up when he talks. But that's neither here
Yeah.
nor there.
I really like the way this game starts because it throws you. I'm a big fan of when a game throws you into its world. The characters know what the world is and how it works and what's going on, but you don't. And you're just figuring it out as you go along, but they're not going to sit there and explain it to you. I hate when a game sits there and explains everything that's
Yeah.
happening to me for like 20 minutes. I don't need that. And this game doesn't do that, and I like that.
I thought you hated it.
Oh, I don't love the game particularly. I
Oh,
like
okay.
how it starts, and I like leaving mystery. I can like things that I hate, okay, Tom?
Okay. It's a love-hate relationship. I understand.
Also,
So
I don't hate
you
this
start off. You hate this game.
I don't.
Got it.
I don't hate this game. I think it's fine. Fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
It sounds like a gentleman's 7.
We'll discuss our scores at the end. No spoilers.
So as we go along, you get your little tutorial. First, you get the more fluid-based combat, where it's just chase down this thing, kill it. Bad cell pops out, or a cell pops out. Tells you to get the cell. You can get it. If you don't get it, the enemy comes back. So I don't think
Respawns.
at this point, I don't think it turns back into the bad cell. It just turns back into the exact same little
Wait,
weird
were
thing.
bad cells a thing if you didn't have the limiter on?
I didn't.
Oh,
have
yeah,
any
yeah.
limiters on,
Yeah,
so-
yeah, they were.
Oh, I always had limiters on. so it was a lot harder.
We got a prodigy here.
Oh.
I just put on all the cell ones were easy, and it gave you extra experience.
No. Okay. Yeah, I
So
didn't
it's
put
like-
any of those on.
Oh
Yeah,
I
really?
used a few.
I
didn't
did
use
when I
any.
was
I'm a
trophy
big baby.
hunting before my game fucking corrupted.
Oh no.
Blaming Supergiant for something Sony's fault.
I'm not blaming them.
This thing soured the experience.
Oh, it's
Soured
fair.
my experience. I was trying to trophy hunt. I was gonna get the platinum, and it got fucking ruined. It ruined.
Ruin.
You were gonna get the platinum in a game you
Son of a
hate?
bitch.
What?
I 100%ed it on Steam.
The
Nice.
trophies on Steam.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
equivalent.
it's like achievements or whatever.
Oh, okay.
They don't mean anything.
Yeah,
They
nobody
mean
cares about them.
everything.
Oh,
PlayStation
Skelly cares about
I-
them.
I still like them.
I care.
So this brings up, after you get through this little tutorial section, you begin to come across the dead people that somehow become functions in your sword.
It's because they're
Depending
dead.
on-
Their trace is left.
Okay, so let's clarify this. You're in
Yes.
Cloud City, right? That's the name, or
Cloud Bank.
Cloud Bank, yes.
Is this place a fucking computer world, or
Let's see.
is this
That's
fucking
that's
real?
actually a big discussion on different forums.
And that's-
Is this
Ryan,
a
that's why I
computer
said-
program or is this actual? And a lot of people are towards this is a computer program. So these people are already just inside. That they're all just programs. So it's like reboot. You know the old.
Ryan, that's why I said
doesn't-
the story's kind of up for interpretation, because I was
No.
like, what the fuck is real and what is not real? In
But
this-
that doesn't negate like the seriousness of the story. Like if we're in a simulation right now, that doesn't negate the realness of our podcast.
I never got the vibe it was like a simulation. I didn't even know that was something up for debate.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I
just thought it was like a-
I
I just thought it was like
looked
a-
it up. It's a big
Yeah.
thing.
I thought it was just
Yeah.
like a futuristic city where everybody voted on everything.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
so
what I
yeah, they're
got as well.
controlling
That's
the
where it
weather
doesn't really make
with
sense, though, right? Because then, like,
terminals.
when you go to the people's dead bodies and you pull their souls out, basically, to
Trans,
get
yeah.
the function and put them into your transistor.
Wait, what about it?
That's
I don't.
that's
Maybe
what-
they have chips in their brains or some shit. I don't fucking know. It's it's the future, dude. I don't fucking
Yeah.
care.
I mean, they could, like, you know.
I'm not
If
here
you
to
could have played
question
Cyberpunk,
it. I didn't play. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played Cyberpunk.
well, this is a much better story about someone's soul being caught in technology, in my opinion.
That's. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played Cyberpunk, but I did like it. Transistor.
But I did like Cyberpunk, but I didn't play it.
Yeah, I don't know shit
I like
about
the
it.
idea of
the
genitalia
idea,
on the outside of
dude. I
pants
like
and
the idea.
T-posing.
Yeah, it sounds great. What's not to love? Okay, yeah. So start absorbing traces or souls of the people who
functions,
were,
yeah.
yeah. Kill, and they turn into functions, aka abilities,
Yes.
that your transistor can utilize.
Yeah.
And these are people who were killed by the process. Yeah, we can agree on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And to be clear to viewers, the process is the
Bad guy.
bad guy in this.
Legion.
Yeah.
I thought the Camerata were the bad guy.
They're-
no,
Camerata
yes and
unleashed the
no.
process.
Yeah, and they just couldn't control it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the process was already like in the city. It's what changes the weather and all that stuff. It's what they use to
And they-
basically.
and
It's
they
the program that
corrupted it.
runs the city. But
Yeah.
the
So-
Camerata tried to use it for more than that, and they lost
Yes.
control.
Yes.
While we are talking about this whole thing, and since we brought up the stalker bodyguard, another theory that is going on from people is because this guy is a no-name and got hit with the transistor and it was supposed to be red, that's why the process went super fucked up.
Oh,
Because he's a
that's
nobody.
interesting.
And since he's a nobody with nothing really to show for it, when he got hit with the transistor and absorbed him, it fucked everything up.
Okay, I thought it was because he wasn't registered in CloudBank. Like he wasn't a citizen there. That's why when they get to the selection office, he was like, I can put off selection for that much longer. I thought he just wasn't registered as a citizen, so he wasn't in the DB.
He's a nobody. Because he's a stalker.
Dude, he's not a stalker, okay? He's beautiful. He's a beautiful voice.
One of the things I do like is as you start and like you get your functions and you're walking through, I think the art of CloudBank is super fucking cool. This place is gorgeous to walk around, and like the music is so good, and like I like the really tiny little moments, like as you're walking to the theater, for like the first boss encounter, and like you can find a poster of Red up on the side, and like you can sit there and linger for a minute, and he's like, "Come on,
Turn
we gotta
around."
go."
Yeah, he's like, and it even pops up on the side, like, "Turn around, turn around." And I just sat there and just let it.
Yeah,
hang
and
up.
then he's like, "Oh, okay, I guess we can wait." And I like those kind of moments. Those are really cool.
So good. They're so good for character development. Like for a
Or-
bodiless character or a voiceless
Yeah.
protagonist. Like it was so great.
Yeah. Or when you can hum later for the microphone.
Yeah.
So
And,
good.
Did you ever do the thing where like you just hit the button and just like do like a random little flourish? Like
Yeah.
Yes.
for no yeah. I
That's
did that a lot.
fantastic. So
Yeah,
the
it's
thing
awesome.
about that flourish is when it tells you to do that, that fertile ground, I guess if you are on that in a battle, that heals you. Those little chunky things.
I didn't fucking know that.
Yeah.
What?
So if you go over them, you'll regain HP.
Well, that would have been cool
Or whatever the computer program equivalent to HP is.
to know. That,
Yeah.
Okay. I do like that they didn't like hold your hand during storytelling or even
Right.
like learning mechanics, but there are a lot of things where it's like it was just never said or mentioned or even hinted at. Like that. How the fuck did you even know that?
Oh, I looked it up eventually.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, like, there's no way I could have ever figured that out, even if I'd played it like 5 more times, I don't think.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff that just never comes in. But like how Tyler was saying, we're coming up to this terminal anyway, but where you get to order the pizza.
Yep.
And then you actually get back to your house later and eat the pizza. I assume that
So
was a pizza.
cute.
That was a nice
yeah.
payoff.
It was a flatbread or whatever, but yeah, it was really
Yeah.
cute.
Well, so did you go with what the stalker wanted you to get, or did
Yeah,
you
sea
make
monster.
up your mind?
It's not a
Yep.
stalker, though. Yeah, I got the sea monster. Dude, no, I love the narration. It was so cool. It felt very alive. Like, it made his character feel super alive and, like, cognizant of what's
Even though
going
he was
on.
dead.
And he's a sword.
Yeah, that
All
storytelling.
right, well, you know what? Sword boyfriend is Faye.
You just wanted to make a lampshade out of your skin, so.
Bro, what? Where did you get this from?
Is this the thing that you're talking about earlier that you didn't want to say?
Oh no.
like-
That was. We haven't gotten to that. I don't know if I'm. So the thing of that is I was talking about. I'm just gonna bring it up now and get it out of the way, and we can continue. So since she just kills herself to be with the stalker at the end,
Spoiler.
is there a point to playing this?
for the end of this podcast?
You start the game. Well, why not just kill yourself right then? Save.
Because she was under the impression she could get back her voice in his body. And it's a tale of avenging your lover's death.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
a
know
revenge.
that it's her lover.
But also,
Context
Did you
clues,
watch
Tom.
the credits? Did you? Then he was like, "Oh, here's this cup of coffee." They were doing all this cute ass shit.
That
They were
doesn't
totally
mean
like-
he could be a stalker and give her coffee.
Okay, if a stalker came up behind
Soon
you,
we will be alone in your apartment, and I can
No, he was
carve
like-
your skin from your body and wear it as a hat.
God
if you
damn.
was like, "Hey, here's this coffee," I wouldn't be like, like in the picture. I'd be like, "Fuck," you know. I'd be scared as shit looking.
Okay,
They love
if you,
each other.
we're just gonna settle this. If you think he was a stalker, raise your hand. If you think he was just her partner, raise your hand.
I'm not saying
You
he has
said
to be a
raise your
stalker,
hand for
but
both. You fool.
No, like we'll do one and then the other.
Okay, stalker, raise your hand. All right, there
Partner.
we go. Enough said. Dude, what
Very,
up?
very
fuck up,
obviously a
Tom.
partner.
No, I'm not. There's no factual evidence that this is any sort of lover.
He says, "I love you," and she hugs the transistor.
It's okay, but that doesn't mean he's
Oh
not a
my
stalker in the
God.
beginning of the game. Just because he's good at talking to people,
What dead person stalks someone? What do
he
you
wants his baddie back so that he could carve her skin from her body.
I need a new lampshade,
You
bitch.
say
kind of
what
person-
dead person stalk somebody?
Yes.
Haven't you ever seen the movie Ghost
He's
No.
a sword.
No, I've never seen that movie. What is
or
that?
Sixth Sense
Ghost
with
ship?
Bruce Willis? Bruce Willis is stalking the shit out of people.
Also,
Ghost ship? That's a good one. Yeah.
what
Solid.
kind of person brings their stalker with them after they don't
Yeah.
have a body?
She doesn't know that he's the stalker.
She pulled the sword out of his
It's
body.
just some
and he had
dude
his
that
voice.
jumped in front of the sword. Like, she doesn't know who he is.
The bodyguard protecting her. He protected her.
Why wouldn't a stalker jump in front of a sword?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Of all the ways I knew that
This
this...
is me right now. This is me.
Take off that lightly.
Lightly. Okay, yeah, but just straight salted, I guess.
Yeah, of all the
100%.
ways that I knew this podcast was going to go off the rails because of all the different takes we have here, this is not the way I expected.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it either.
You are so enamored of this fucking guy that's a stalker. See, he won you over too.
Dude, okay.
Hey,
I
but
thought
how good was that motorcycle scene?
it was good.
Thank you for moving us forward, Panda. The motorcycle scene.
Phenomenal.
No. We don't have to do the motorcycle scene. Don't we have to fight Sybil first? Oh no,
No,
it's
but
after.
that's
you
later.
get on the
That's
motorcycle to get to Sybil.
Okay, so the motorcycle's a lot better than the fucking personal watercraft later. That's just dumb. I didn't
I
like
thought that was
one.
cool.
I thought it was
all
fine.
cool.
I didn't mind those scenes.
No, I don't mind the scenes either, but the motorcycle is cool, and so was riding on 1,000 freaking process. Flew
I thought
through
that
the
was
air.
dumb, dude. I was like, what? Why
It's
am
like,
I riding?
damn it!
It was-
Why isn't my stalker peeling my skin off right now?
That's what I said.
Getting me
exactly.
coffee.
The process thing was really weird because it's definitely like an Aladdin magic carpet kind of a vibe
It was
going
so
on.
strange.
You're
I
just
did
singing a
not-
whole new world as you're flying
Yeah.
through the
Oh
air.
my
She
God, they
can't
should have
sing,
done
she's
that.
humming, Tom. She
If
can't
they could
talk.
if they could tame the things enough to ride them, why the fuck is she fighting them? Is it? Why could?
For the honor of her stalker.
Destroying
I
the
don't-
city.
The camarada.
Destroying her home.
We just happen to be riding on their back on their way to destroy the city. I don't.
Well, those are the different ones, right? Because she gets those out of the pods. Like maybe they're fresh.
Oh, they were the good thingies.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, but
they're-
then
regular
They're puppies.
Yeah.
I see that. They were the babies.
Untrained puppies.
Well, the transistor is the thing that controls the process to begin with, right?
Oh yeah, but
Well,
if she
Okay,
had that degree of
okay.
control,
So if the transistor is controlling the process, how is he not a stalker, a creepy guy when he's trying to kill you with cluckers and
he's
weird
not doing it.
young ladies?
The transistor has to be in the cradle to control them.
Right.
This is just getting creeper. I have to lay in your cradle so that we can be together.
Bro, what?
You've
You
been
are
spending
so
too much time on the dark web, buddy.
acknowledging.
Oh man.
Dude, I thought this is such a beautiful depiction of love. Probably one of the best depictions of love I've ever seen in any form of media. I
Well,
thought it was
apparently
very
it's not love, it's stalking.
Hey,
Yeah,
so
you're right.
this is the thing that I was not going to bring up, and everybody's like, "Well, you should talk about it. Come on, let's go."
I'm glad you
The other thing you didn't want to bring up was her killing
Oh, the
herself at the
That
beginning
too.
of the game.
Yeah, that's another part of it. But then I was like, "Why even play the game? You just got to the end to die."
Let's talk about the ending when we get to the ending.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like to just skip around on this one. This one seems like a good one. Just
Okay, but I have to organize the footage that we recorded with the podcast.
It's all in a straight
I've
line.
been, I've been trying.
Okay, so we encounter our first boss battle, Sybil, one of the members of the Camerata. She's like,
Okay,
"Guys,
but before we get there, right?
Camerata."
Don't we go to? I'm trying to think of like the layout of the city because you start like right outside of the club, and then you go to what, like the market district?
We're
or
at the
something?
empty set right now.
Yeah.
Before the
Well, we're
bosses
going
get
to
there.
the empty set. Yes.
That's where the
This was
motorcycle
the part
takes
that was confusing. I couldn't remember because it got kind of I don't know. All these got like kind of like put together in my brain because they all kind of look similar once you go to like the high rise area.
Yes.
And like all of them just kind of blended together, so I couldn't remember which one was next.
Yeah. So you go through like a little bit of areas. I don't think you hit the snapshots yet. I think those are the ones that, or maybe you, no. This is where you, like on the way to the empty set, you meet the cheerleaders or the little bastards that shield them.
Mhm.
Yep.
You encounter the young lady who makes the shadow of herself every time you hit her like once.
I think the enemy designs are really cool.
The jerk and the jerk 2.0 who just slams
Yeah.
the ground.
Yeah, it's sad.
And then you make it to the microphone and you do your little song. Like there's a couple places you can go. Jan's Junction or something like that, I think is a bar.
Yes.
And they talk about it being closed and never seen these this so few people here. And a couple more terminals. The only terminal that really, like the one where you order the food, is the only one that really stuck out in my mind. I know there's more where you can like vote on what you want the weather to be like tomorrow, and there's other ones where there's like a journalist talking and you respond like 4 times because you put something, then you delete it, then you put it again, delete it, and then you're just like, oh, it's
Talking with the
fine.
transistor.
Yeah, that's her way of talking.
I thought that was cool.
I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, the two in particular that you're talking about, Ryan, where she actually types to the transistor and deletes it, like giving him messages, talking to him, and he's talking back in an actual voice with subtitles and all that. Those are really good, yeah. But then
So nice.
the ones you're talking about, Tom, which is most of them, where she's just like kind of typing responses and then deleting them. She's just like kind of trying to make up her mind on a response, kind of, even though the responses aren't going anywhere. That becomes obvious pretty quickly.
That feels very real though, because I'm definitely the person who will type half a message out, delete it, rewrite it.
Yeah, that feels real too. I was just pointing out that they're two different.
Well, the thing that
kind of
I think Chris is trying to get across is like she's typing all this stuff out, and it's like, what's the point of her typing it out? Does she have some kind of standing within Cloud Bank or whatever the fuck this place is?
Well,
Yeah, because that's why they wanted to hit her with the transistor.
Yeah, they wanted to utilize her voice to like influence the people.
They wanted to give people something they didn't know they wanted.
Yeah.
Which is why they were trying to gather up all these people of influence.
Did you play this game, Tyler?
Instead, they got the
it
stalker
twice.
who corrupted everything and turned it awful.
I did not get any of that from this game. It was so, to me, is all super fucking vague.
Yeah, the story is
I will
definitely in the
agree.
background.
Yeah. No, I'll agree there. The only reason I know half the shit I do is because I played it the two times all the way through.
I only played it once, and I didn't look up any lore.
Oh. Well.
Okay.
big
I picked up on.
Big brain on Brad.
I didn't pick up on everything. I didn't pick up on the simulation thing, but I can understand where the argument is made. Like, but I didn't feel like that was super hidden at all. I don't feel like this story is hidden. It's just optional.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I just did not take that option. I guess.
I mean, I was for the option of not
kind of
paying
complaint.
attention
That's
to
fine.
the story.
It's just that they should have put the story at more of the forefront. Kind of not like the hand-holding thing, but I feel like they should have like definitely done a better job with world building.
Well, I'm fine with the story of the way it was because I didn't care for the story even for what it was, even though you think I'm wrong.
Well, there's some parts that are like
probably because you
For
thought the guy
even
was
the other way, so
I would probably not be stoked about the story either.
there's
If
parts
was
of
like,
the story that
"What
I
do
think
you like this game?"
are super cool, you know. Like the little bits that I was able to get from it, I think are really cool. But I wish there would have been more of it. Like the whole thing with like the second boss, as we're making our way to the second boss, and how that kind of leads into the two brothers. And
first boss, we didn't even hit Sybil.
I know, but I'm saying as we get to the second boss and go into the two brothers things, like just talking about story beats in general, I love that. But then it's just like the whole way
Two
that,
brothers?
yeah,
The two Camerata guys.
Oh, were they brothers?
yeah, right? Were
They had the
brothers?
same last name, so either they're brothers or
I
married.
didn't notice that.
Yeah, I thought they were brothers.
I thought they were married.
Maybe
No,
they
I didn't
were.
even notice, I didn't even notice they had the same last name, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They look nothing alike. That is so crazy. Genes are wild, huh?
Yeah. So anyway,
anyways, we're
about
fighting
Sybil
Sybil.
here. Yeah, who apparently is a party planner. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure if you read, I'm like, that's great. You're part of the Camerata because you're a party planner. Anyway, this boss fight, three phases. First time it's just her. Next time it's her, a bunch of weeds. The next time it's her, a bunch of weeds and cheerleaders. I didn't really feel any of these boss fights really. Well, I mean, without any limiters on, I guess there weren't any challenge for the
I
most
don't think
part.
they're challenging.
It
Even
was
with
challenging?
limiters, they weren't bad, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can just really spam a few things. It doesn't require a lot of strategizing or anything. Like, this one in particular, it's just kind of an open area. You just spam attacks on her, and then you walk away behind one of those little walls, and then you spam attacks on her.
I mean, she's got a pretty good distance on her umbrella jab, but it's not like hard to get away. And
Yeah.
even if you do get hit, what is it? You just lose a process or a function for like 3 access points or something like that. 2 access points.
Two
Yeah,
access.
you lose your highest cost function.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I
Until
never
you
even
get
figured out what it was using to determine what it took away. That's good to know.
Yeah,
Which
the highest cost one.
Which I really like that system at first because it's like it gives you a bunch of lives, but I got pretty annoyed by the end of the game when I would like die a couple times against especially like the guys in the very last area, and then I would lose a couple processes, and it's like I don't mind losing those processes for a couple of fights, but it is kind of a pain to put in new stuff in those slots so that you don't die, and then you have to like take that stuff back out and rearrange it back in. It's a little bit of a pain.
Yeah. Yeah, the remodding all of your skills back to the way you wanted them just because you lost one.
I think they did that to encourage people to
Try other
play
things.
outside of their comfort zone. Yeah.
So I do like though when you kill Sybil here that you get to kill her. She's like just crawling on the ground. And you're just kind of like, you just walk up to her, do your normal attack, stab
You
her.
like
in
that?
the back of the Yeah, it's fun.
I was just gonna let her
That
crawl away, but she
dirty
couldn't let her.
bitch.
She was stuck.
Good
She
God.
looks like a fucking worm.
So when you do that, you get her function, which is if you just put it on by itself, you can call the dog, right?
Yeah.
Fetch, or the
Yeah.
equivalent of what the fetch are later.
Yeah.
So when you unlock the passive ability later and put that on, you have that 25% chance to go straight into kill mode.
Yeah.
Did you guys use that?
Yeah.
That was the only time I really like would spam. Like you couldn't quite abuse it, but going into the tactics mode, and then if you went right back out of it, you would lose some of your stamina or memory or whatever that is up on top. But since you have that one chance and you go into it, you can just yeah. Like I didn't do it a lot, but on certain ones like dogs and stuff, they're awful, especially after they start masking themselves and go invisible.
Oh, the dogs are hard. Yeah, they're a pain in the ass.
You know, one of the things we haven't really touched on yet is the leveling system, which I think is really cool too, is how you get to pick between like a passive slot or like an ability, or like what you're actually unlocking if you want a slot for your abilities to add another ability underneath it to boost that or what. I like that a lot. I think it's a fun way to play with how you want to play the game.
Yeah, dependent on the level, because I think at first it's just you choose 2 functions, the next one you get another one, then like it builds into you get actually at the end like 3 different sections to choose something from. But there still is a maximum, I think, of what you can do, and like it's still, so if you do this, then obviously that's just out of the pool.
But it's like, do you want more passive slots from the jump, or do you want
more memory,
or
yeah.
Can you hit a max level? Do any of the people, any of you guys know? Can you hit like a max level where you can't get everything, or can you hit a point where you get everything?
So when I did my recursive playthrough before it corrupted, I got up to level 17, and it started adding skills again. So you start unlocking the same skills again, but you can basically add them to another skill underneath those like passive slots and like boost them up even higher, make them more powerful.
Yeah, I got to level 30 something.
Holy fuck.
So you can actually you can acquire everything, or you can keep acquiring like the same skill over and over to make it more passives and stuff.
Yeah, so you have like different choices of what functions you could apply every time. So like one time you'll get dash and some other shit, and the next time you'll get whatever else.
So knowing that actually brings me around on the leveling system to liking it a lot more. I was gonna say like I would have preferred like a skill tree where you just see from the beginning like here's all the processes and here's where the passive slots are and all that stuff, and you pick where you want to go. But because you can double up on getting the same skills, that's a lot more interesting.
Yeah, that actually also kind of broke the game a little bit, because it'd be like you would lose a function when you died, and it's like, well, I have another one of those, so I don't give a fuck. I just apply it again.
Huh. And you get a trophy for doing it.
Oh, do you?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, putting a function inside of itself, you get a trophy.
Oh I got a Steam thingy for that.
It's like inbreeding, because they're all computer programs.
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
It's inbreeding.
Nailed it.
Just like the guys the soccer.
Where's your brain, man?
Maybe we should record on Thursdays.
So yeah, after absorbing or whatever the hell you do to Sybil, she basically gets coaxed by the Transistor to tell them where the other members of the Camerata are. And then you're off to High Rise.
Yeah.
Yay. Path to High Rise. Hop on the PWC. And fly through the water. Magic. Yep. Off to find the brothers. So on the way over there, I think there's some new enemies that you run into. Cluckers, I believe, show up here.
Pretty annoying.
Fetch, I think is what the dogs are called.
Yes.
I think those are the only 2.
Yeah, the dogs are definitely
snapshots,
the
I think, come here too. The ones that take the picture of you.
Yeah,
who later are big assholes because they block half your screen when you go into the tactical mode.
Oh yeah.
It's not good. And you start to, the Transistor starts becoming drunk and weird and slow and sluggish and talking all crazy things because of the spine of the world. Which, as you run into him, he starts jabbing his little pointy bits through areas, trying to kill you.
Which I think
it's just the one pointy bit. Yeah.
Just many times.
Yeah, which I like that you can use that to kill enemies if you.
Yeah, that was cool.
I didn't use it to kill enemies, but.
So, did you guys? This is something that I didn't understand in the lore. Did you understand why the spine existing was making the Transistor weird?
Nope.
So Sword Guy kind of speculates on it at one point. He says he thinks like if the process gets big enough, it starts fucking with him, because it's kind of like the Transistor's losing control over the process or some shit. I don't know. I don't think he's speculating, so I don't even think he knows. And he's in the fucking game.
It's decent enough, like, proposal though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if the transistor's the thing meant to control the whole process, you get a process that verges on uncontrollable. That leash is going to start to, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, as you go closer and closer to this spine, there's a couple like elevator rides I think you can go up that have like waved bosses, or not bosses, but waved enemies that you can fight. And then, I mean, that's kind of fun. Just a nice little enclosed. Like, I think it even makes a comment about it when you get this elevator is a little big, don't you think? Well, it's a video game inside a video game because it is a computer program of a video game.
Which that just for the people who've played Hades, that just reminds me of the boat in Asphodel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The ass boat.
Yes. Yes, Tom.
That's what I heard. The ass boat.
You're on a roll, buddy.
Buttered on a roll.
On purpose. So as the transistor's in this weird drunken state, the sword actually is a little different too. I think the little red piece in the middle glows more, and he sparks.
It glows red instead of blue.
Yeah, and he sparks a little more instead of the cool little animation of like the grid lines as you're running. It's kind of neat. I enjoyed that.
Same.
The little animations they add on.
This
are
is my
pretty
favorite
neat.
section of the game, just because I think what they do with everything is really unique and fun. That's where you get to go to like your apartment and stuff, and have that
The flat
nice moment where
Mhm.
you eat the pizza and stuff. And
hang out with your stalker.
son of a bitch.
Yeah, this is also the first part where she talks to the transistor through one of those terminals because the transistor cannot communicate with her anymore. It's like when he's not in that weird red mode, he seems to understand what she's saying, even though she's not saying anything. Like the thoughts are connected or something, but they're disconnected during these sections.
But he's also okay if you go into the back doors.
Yeah, that's
that have like the little challenges and stuff. So if you go in there, he's like, "Oh, that's better," and like talks normally. Where you can do, what is it? It's like a speed, a skill test, and there's another one, performance, and
there's speed. I'd beat all of them or whatever.
to unlock the different music.
Fight yourself. You also get experience for this, I think.
Not a lot though, but I mean, you don't really go high in levels anyway. It's like 10 XP on their weird scale. But I like the little backdoor area. You can sit in the hammock, and if you got you can have the dog run around and kick the beach ball around for a little bit.
Luna.
And this was very, like, this little area had more of a Bastion feel to it than, or at least I thought it had more of a Bastion feel to it than the actual, like, Transistor world feel to it. But, meh.
Okay, I can maybe get on board with the stalker thing, actually, now that I think about it.
Oh no!
God.
Listen,
I shouldn't have came back. I should have just stayed home.
No, because when they get to high rise, dude, sword guy is like, I didn't like high rise until I found out that you lived here or some shit like that.
That's weird. Then.
I'm not completely crazy, all right? Like,
I could maybe partially see
I
it.
think your delusions are just running through the internet.
I'm just sending
They're
them.
just eating.
If I get Skelly on my side, I will win them all.
No, I won't budge.
Well,
Maybe at the beginning, maybe like pre-game, he was like a
Yeah.
little stalker.
He's like a stalker that turned into her boyfriend.
Yeah.
She never found out
Which
he
is
was
like
a terrible,
it's the
sick little
stalker's
stalker.
dream.
until
hold on,
she
I'm
wakes
getting into
up
this
and
theory,
she doesn't
guys.
have her skin on, and he's running around naked in it.
He would be naked, he'd be wearing her skin.
Well,
Oh my god.
she'd be naked in front of him
She'd be
twice
super naked, like
because she'd
double
have no skin,
no skin,
the
no
muscles.
clothes.
I really didn't think this was gonna be like a fucking Silence of the Lambs.
It's disturbing. This is not what anybody expects when they click on Transistor gameplay. Oh my
That's
God.
why we exist, is for this lovely part here. So yeah, after all of this, the niceties of your apartment with the soccer and continuing on through a high rise, eventually you get to fight the spine of the world. Really isn't that bad. There's pillars you can pretty much jaunt, I think is what the skill's called. which
Yeah,
is a
the
weird name
image
for
of
it.
this boss is way more imposing than the actual fight.
Yeah. Oh, and so like from what I read is the spine of the world was actually more of like an art piece or something before it became corrupted,
Oh, really?
and then it just turned into that evil, weird demon squid thing. But anyway,
Interesting. I thought it was just like a process thing.
well, it became a process thing. But I mean, it was made by the Camerata, so it's still like
Oh.
intertwining.
I know
It
that
just
this
becomes-
Find the World or whatever was a song that she had prior to all this shit. It was
Yeah.
just like a song that she sang.
I didn't know that.
Mm. Take your word for
Yeah.
it.
I
But yeah, the
found
boss fight, and you just run across. It basically has a Gatling laser that just shoots, and you just have to run to this side, stay behind cover, hit it a couple times. Back to the other side, same thing. He uses his tail a little bit. Like once you kill it, you get to run through its innards
Yeah, that was
It's
cool.
hard.
because you get to run through it, and you're like, ah,
Very
ha, ha.
slowly to fire.
I like that sound effect.
Could you hear that? Damn,
Yeah.
that's like good.
It's a good ass mic.
That's kind of quiet. Wow.
So if you defeat it, and then you run in to kill its or destroy its heart, I believe, is when you're inside of it.
E.
And then after the spine, red in the transistor, you continue on to bracket towers, I think is what it's called. And this is when you're looking for Asher, Kendrell, and Grant. I think those are the brothers.
Yep.
And he like starts to leave little messages on these terminals, which you find out is the Camerata basically were trying to fess up to everything that it was their fault, but the process wasn't letting these communications from these terminals get outside of the towers where they were. So nobody knew what was going on. When they knew everything got fucked up and they were trying to tell people, thing got fucked up. So they were trying to cop to so that's why I think that they, like we said earlier, is they created the process or unleashed it, and they didn't know what they were doing, and then it got out of hand, and they were remorseful for it for the most part, or at least these brothers, because
Yeah.
I think Grant ends up killing himself, and then Asher can't live with the fact that Grant's not there anymore, so then he kills himself.
15 minutes before you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But all the
there's
while
like
you're
that.
going there, there's just terminals with Asher like leaving you messages on all these terminals.
He goes live too. Yeah. So like, he
Yeah.
killed himself right before you got up there.
Yep.
Well, I think one of them he even says, "Hurry up! I don't know how much longer I can last." It's like
Yeah.
really sad, and you go up there, and
Yeah.
you just find both of them,
Yeah.
and,
And they just,
and then you can pick them both up as functions.
And I did.
Totally.
yeah, because the whole time, yeah, Asher seems very remorseful what had happened, and
I think he was the only one of the Camerata who actually was remorseful.
yeah, because Grant was like kind of, I think he was getting like
was,
infected
like-
or something.
He was like a psychopath. It was his fault. This whole thing was his fault. Royce handed over the transistor him, and he did this.
That bastard.
Yeah.
Gave the power to a stalker, and look what happens.
No, it was. That's not the stalker.
Everybody's a stalker.
No, Grant gave the power to the stalker by hitting him with the sword.
Oh, okay. He was trying to hand it over to Red.
Yeah, by killing her.
Yes, exactly.
So you think if he killed her, the transistor would have grown legs and could have run around and just sing? It's like a
Yes,
singing
that's
sword.
it. You're right.
Well, like taking
Nailed
her
it.
abilities. Yeah, totally. That's why. I
It's
can
like those
box
guns in
it.
Borderlands. They get the legs and start running
Yep.
around for you.
It's true. That is a thing. In
And they all
Borderlands.
sound like Jack Black all of a sudden.
I love Jack
That's only if
Black.
it's Claptrap.
He's so funny.
Anyway, we'll continue on. So we see the brothers dead after you absorb their functions. This is where you're in that lab, right? And then you get to ride on the magic
Magic carpet ride.
process. Yeah.
Yeah.
A
Right on
whole
the magic
new
process.
world.
Exactly.
They should have just
Going
played that
more
song.
of a
This would have been a
magic
10 out of
school
10.
bus
Huh?
They should just play that song over that scene. Would have been a 10 out of 10
That would
game.
have been so good. And by good, I would have just stopped playing.
Well, now, Chris, now you have something to do. Is just go and get that, and then have a whole new world playing, and just make a little video. of just
Oh yeah,
flying
that
through
won't get a
with
copyright claim.
You don't
You know
have to
what?
put it on the internet. Just share it
When
with
you edit
us.
this video,
Oh,
you should
okay.
bleep out every time Tom calls him a stalker.
That would be really good. Except even when we're explaining it now, you should bleep it out too. That way.
That is so many
Nobody
bleeps
will
that I
know
didn't
what he's
write
saying.
down. There's no way that's happening. But that's a good
You're
idea.
gonna think
that-
he's saying something really bad. He's like, he's up.
And then you just start hearing the S sound, and then the rest of it bleeps out. What the fuck is he saying?
Listeners, you can
Yes.
imagine how funny that would have been, but I'm not going to do
What
that.
happened?
That's a lot of work. I can't
But
do it.
imagination.
Yeah. So, well, you go up to Kendrill's sanctuary on the roof, and that's where you discover they were dead. So I forgot that we went up to the sanctuary, not just in the where you fight the spine of the world. But yes, that takes you to the last member, Royce Brackett, and that dirty Royce. So now basically you're going back to where you started the game, but it's completely different. And this is the only part of the game that seemed to get a lot harder.
Yeah.
For me, when you get here, like this shit was annoying. at
Yeah,
points.
there was a difficulty spike at the end here for sure.
Wait, what enemy was giving
The
you
men
trouble?
or whatever they were called, aren't they just called man?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
ones
man.
that
They
those
do the
weird
hair
guys.
They look like
Yep.
the it looked like the dude from Dead Cells.
Kinda,
Oh yeah, kind of. Yeah, but the first time you do it when they go invisible, and you have to just time it so that right when they pop out, they hit you.
Yep.
Then you go into the tactics mode and hit them a bunch. It took me a little bit to figure that one out. I do like the scenery though when you're walking down that long hallway and there's just fucking hundreds of those cluckers just like
Yeah,
watching you.
that was
Just like sitting there and just like
Coming there, they all perk up and listen. They want to hear you sing. They become obsessed with you toward the end. That's why all those
gee,
pictures are on
something
your-
else becoming obsessed with you that perhaps
maybe
because of the
that's
transistor that went into some stalker.
really influenced that is the fact that he was absorbed in the transistor, and that's why the process started like idolizing her a little bit,
Because he's a stalker.
or he just liked her. I don't know.
You know what else we
Not
completely
saying
skipped
not
over?
saying.
Like,
What?
No.
all the way up through here is those safe areas.
Oh no, we talked about that when you were not
Oh.
here.
Oh, okay. Damn it!
Damn.
Do you have anything to add to that? You
I
can. You
fucking
can.
love that. That's
Yeah.
like one of my favorite things in the game is going through and unlocking the music and just like sitting down on the hammock and it zones out and the music plays. Love that
That's
shit.
really cool.
And then you get the
Playing
little
with the
dog
ball,
and you
yep.
can have the dog and throw the ball around. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I had to leave. My dog was doing something, so I had to go check out that.
You had to throw the beach ball at him and lay in the hammock, and
No, my cat was attacking it, but
Oh.
close enough.
it's kind of like a beach ball, I guess.
So real quick, talking about the man again. The man, you know the man.
The man, damn the man.
I want my
So-
stimulus check. Sorry,
You just ask all these enemies, "Where's my stimulus check?"
I want my money.
I don't care about my voice. Give me my stimulus check.
A different man. Sorry.
The ones that turn invisible, like they really make your invisibility suck. Because I had the invisibility and I had the thing in it that makes it last twice as long. So it was like 20-second visibility. I get my turn function back and everything. But it doesn't work worth a damn against these invisible guys because they will just stay invisible and you have to make yourself visible and get your ass hit before you can attack them.
Well, you don't have to get hit, but you have to draw them.
Well,
out
you have to
attack,
dodge,
yeah.
and I'm not good enough to dodge. Let's be.
You don't have
let's
to
be
dodge because as soon as they do their attack, as soon as they pop out, you can just go straight in, and you can hit them before they actually do anything.
real. Oh, okay. Well, I never did that.
Their
Yeah.
haircuts damage them. You could just shoot the things from
That's true.
afar.
That is true. But
And
real
then-
quick, we should.
Hey, what damaged by my haircut?
I'm always damaged by my haircut because I don't have any hair. It hurts my feelings. We should get back to Jay's question though. What kind of stuff are you guys using? What are your functions that you like? I don't think we really
I don't
answered that.
remember.
Fucking
I like
love
the one
all
that you
down.
punch people up. I forget what that one's called. I'm gonna look it up.
All
I
right.
used Void, and I think it's called Blunt or something. I can't remember the name of it.
Blunt.
Did you like smoke a blunt? What was that one?
I like
We're not Ryan.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
I like Cull. Cull was really good.
Yeah, Cola is super good, and it takes a lot of memory though when you're in.
The one I remember using is when I modded it, you'd hit your sword down, and it was like a big orb that swirled around and went forward, but I would do it so it would
Is that
go
Spark?
through. It's one of the last ones you get.
You have like I think one's called
Purge.
Charge and one's called Spark.
Yeah, so whatever one that is, that's all I use towards the end, and that's why I got super pissed off, is because I would die to these motherfuckers and then lose it. So my favorite skill that I wanted to use, I didn't even I used like 3 times for the whole fucking ending because it kept going bye. Because it took a ton of memory for this one.
I think all the skills were really cool in their own way.
Yeah, just for the fact
really
that
cool stuff with them.
that you could just put different things in and do something completely different. The only one I can say I didn't really use is the like the charm one. I think I ended up putting that in passive because that did something cooler in passive than it actually did to any of the skills because I didn't care about turning any of them.
The charm, that turned bad cells into friendly cells because I had that on my
And it
path.
helps out a fuck ton, actually.
Yeah, it's super helpful. I have Crash with the mask upgrade on, so when I'm close up, I get more backstab damage with the close-up melee that disables enemies. I ran Bounce with ping on the upgrade, so I could attack more because that ping reduced cost of the bounce. Spark with load on the upgrades because that increased AoE and overall damage. So AoE blast with a bigger blast that dealt more damage.
What I was thinking of was load. Yeah, that one's super good.
And I ran Jaunt with breach on the upgrade so that I could deal damage with my Jaunt outside of combat or outside.
I can't believe you guys didn't use Void. Void was so good.
I don't even remember what it was. So
Void made it did an area effect, and anybody caught within it took more damage.
And deals less damage.
Yeah.
And it stacks up to 3 times. It's really good. Its passive is really good too.
Like if you use it and then use Cole, you could one shot fucking everything.
That's what I did. That's
exactly you get the backstab on them and then use Cole.
Yeah, you do Cole, then you do both the damage amplifiers on it, and it's a one shot. Anybody. Royce, I killed him with 1 shot every time.
Yep.
Like you could fuck people up with Cole.
Yeah, the whole last half of the game, it was just once I got Void, it was over with.
Yeah.
I think that another one I used was Jaunt with the bomb on it. So every time you sprinted at your endpoint, you drop the bomb, and since you could use that outside of the tactical one, you could just zip around and just keep dropping bombs.
Yep.
Oh, that's
pretty good as well.
I didn't really use Jaunt too much outside of its passive.
Was jaunting constantly.
He's a jaunty fella.
I go for a jaunt every day.
Yeah, I should have used jaunt more. I didn't really. But that's something I love about this game is we all did different builds and we were all like, this build is fucking awesome. It's fucking OP.
Except for you two that did the exact same one apparently.
Excuse me.
With Void and Cole?
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's fair.
That's a good ass build though, I'm telling you. What up, little bone man? What up, little...
That Macho Man, Randy Savage?
Yeah, that is Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
Missing a hand.
Yeah, the dog ate his hand.
Missing a hand and then the Bone Boy's missing a foot.
Oh, they're best friends.
Yeah, they're soulmates. Or maybe the Bone Guy's a stalker.
Well, this is just what
he wants to
Macho
wear
Man Randy Savage looks like now.
That's why I said earlier, you don't know who this guy is, if he's like her bodyguard, lover, or if he's stalker, full Chris on wearing Ezra's skin.
Are we gonna...
Just so you know, Tyler, the skeleton, we only saw its arm in the actual footage because I have to cut off the muted part of your Discord camera.
Oh,
there he is. They're
gonna kiss. Don't. That's
Look at that
inappropriate.
bony ass.
Make sure you censor that. We can't have nudity. Anyway, we're off to find Royce through this lovely process-infested.
This guy has a ascot, right? In his picture.
Does he?
The guy with the ascot. They all have ascots.
They're just fancy.
Proceed. Sorry. It was just...
Well, let's talk about ascots for a little bit.
I don't think he has an ascot. No, he does.
Top 10 best ascots in media. Let's go.
I mean, you can't really beat Fred from right. That's his name. From Scooby Doo. Like
it's over with. That's fine. We got it.
That's 1 through 10.
It's like you can't beat the fake turtleneck Dickie thing, whatever the fuck they're called, except for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Tom was very
Royce.
Cousin Eddie is the best one.
Royce is kind of hot, guys. I don't know. No, I'm looking.
Do you like this game, or you just like all the hot boys in it?
What?
Is it the game, or is it just all the hot boys that you like?
That's Hades that has all the hot people.
I'm just so thirsty. It's just literally anything. Or breeds.
Googling
Oh,
Transistor hot boys.
Hot boys.
No.
Who is the hottest boy? Transistor? Hot boys.
We're just all gonna Google porn now. Tyler's just gonna, Ryan's just gonna show up on his back screen.
Yeah, Google, don't Google it.
Monitor. I could see it in the back monitor.
No, get that out of there.
All it was some rap group named Hot Boys.
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
Oh well. So a couple of cool things that when you head back here is you can build like these bridges and stuff with the transistor.
Yeah.
So I think there's a few areas where you have to build bridges, like with the process.
What?
Why are you just staring at me?
What?
Yeah, that's true.
When Red is able to construct a bridge to verify with.
Just the one time, though.
Yeah, it's just the one time.
Oh, is it just one? I thought
That's
it
what I
was
was coming up. I was
once.
like, what the fuck?
I was like, dude, I missed half the fucking game apparently. What?
It's a 20-hour game, Skelly. Yeah.
Yeah, how long did it take you?
They're hot boys though, like.
Bridge builder transistor, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Anyway,
Build a couple bridges, one fucking bridge.
while you're trying to get to the cradle to implant the stalker to make everything stalk Royce and then kill him instead,
Right. Yeah.
because that's what you want to do.
Yes. That's the goal.
Royce ends up communicating to Red and the transistor via like a proxy, offering a truce.
Yeah, proxy, little TV.
It's just kind of weird though. It's just like floating around.
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to leave his thing because then he would get all fucked up by the process.
I liked it. It was cool.
I thought so. I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't like his voice. He was too soft spoken. It was really weird and sexual. I didn't like it. He was like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." I was like, bitch, what? Like, don't be normal.
Yeah, it definitely
It
sounds
was
like
weird.
The transistor knew what he was talking about because they're speaking the same language that way.
No, dude, the transistor's like, what's up? It's me abnormal. And then Royce is
He's
like,
talking to you. That's not how he talks to his other weird stalker friends.
Other what? The other people in the transistor?
The
They're
stalker
all
buddies.
stalkers?
Well, that's just it though, right? Because when you get to this part where you make the little truce, you both go into the transistor, or like you both essentially, you just go into the transistor.
They go in the transistor, yeah? That's
Yes.
what they're doing there?
Yeah,
At the end, Royce and
because
they
only
get
one
trapped
of them
in
can
it.
leave. But literally, like this. So this is where I think it goes more along the lines of this.
But nobody
was-
else could.
So that's just it. This is why I think it's a computer program. Like you see all of these other transistor swords all
Yes.
throughout this battle scene. Like, so this has
Yeah.
happened before. This is like fucking Matrix scenario here, where it just keeps looping till it gets the ending it wants.
Okay.
So not real people,
So
computer programs.
this is
It's
just
real
the-
to them.
So, then Tom, so wouldn't it be a good thing since you didn't like the fact why kill yourself? Why not just kill yourself at the beginning? Wouldn't it be a good thing to kill yourself in the end because it's more meaningful because you're leaving the simulation in that? And
To do it all over again.
No, they get out at the end.
But if you just kill yourself right away, you don't have to listen to
Well,
the
I don't-
stalker. And
I guess I don't know if
Maybe.
they do technically get out at the end because then you immediately start the recursive run and it just starts the game over again.
that's just video game nonsense.
That's true. I forget about
Yeah,
that.
but the fact that they call it recursive.
Yeah, they don't call it like
I
New
mean,
Game Plus. They call it recursive, which is like basically restarting and programming.
It is
It's-
video game nonsense. The ending is what we saw at the credits.
Actually, yeah, they might actually be in a because they're all actual functions. Like each of those
Yeah,
functions,
I get it.
They're computer functions.
There you go.
Still video game
How
nonsense.
did I
to me.
not catch on to this being a pro? Dude, I'm fucking stupid.
uh,
Well, it's like I was telling Ryan. It's vague. It's
no,
vague
yeah,
enough
it's meant
that you can
know,
have different interpretations of it. I think.
Yeah.
but that's just one
Questioning
way
my
it can go.
intelligence now. I swear.
See, you're coming around on the stalker, and that is a computer
No.
program.
Wow, the computer. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because a recursive function is a function that calls itself over and over again.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's probably a computer program. That makes a lot of sense.
They can call it whatever they want. It's just New Game Plus. That's all it is.
It's a recursive function. So.
And it's gods rebirthing themselves in Hades. It's New Game Plus, the roguelite. It's but the story, they can still be a simulation with that self-contained story, but they just put a fancy word on New Game Plus. That's all that is to me. You can't convince me that it's any different.
Well, that's
But it literally is the same. It's literally the same function running itself. It's the game function running itself again.
Which is really smart
Yeah, I think so.
in the naming convention.
I like the naming convention. Naming variables correctly is extremely important in software development, and I can appreciate that wholeheartedly.
So here's the thing with Supergiant Games. I think they're very intentional with everything they do. I don't think Bastion has New Game Plus. I don't think they ever added that. And Pyre does not have a New Game Plus. Everything in Hades, with the way that the game keeps recurring and it's a roguelite, a lot of the praise that game gets is because it's folded into the narrative and it makes sense in terms of the narrative. I don't think they would have a New Game Plus in this game and call it a recursive function without it meaning something.
Yeah, 100%
Not just another stepping stone for their game development, though.
Wait, what?
And it's the same story delivered to you in that recursive mode. So maybe you're reliving that same piece of story over, but the ending you get without the story repeating itself is that same ending, is the story outside of the simulation.
No, because you're not breaking out. You're not breaking out of the function. You're not returning false.
you're trapped.
You're trapped.
No, you break free.
You're
You
trapped.
killing yourself breaks you free.
No.
And you're returning to it just before the end again.
Yeah, you're killing yourself to try to escape, to hang out with your stalker boyfriend that is gonna wear your skin as a lampshade.
But
and
also,
then
if you go-
right as he's about to carve you, you start all over
Also,
again.
if you go back and think about the fight with Royce, too, all the other transistors that were all over the place. I mean, how do you know?
How many times have you fought Royce?
How many times did she break free? You know,
And maybe only some of the time she kills herself, but no
That's
matter
actually
what,
really
she's always
sad.
back.
It's sort of making me dislike the game some because I was just really. They made it to the country! Yay!
Everything's a happy ending.
well, that was the part that was really weird. Is whenever she finally does stab herself with the transistor, and like the next scene you see is like their backs holding hands, and they're in like a country. It's like, where are they? Where are they at?
Well,
What's
they-
going on?
They're saying, like, when you die, you go to the country. It was like a phrase that they used often.
Yeah, it's like their heaven, it seems like,
Yeah.
which maybe it is
Which is
literally
actually
just
just
not
the
in the program.
trash bin in my Windows program.
Is the phrase retire in the country not a thing outside of Connecticut? Because that is not just a phrase inside this video game. I swear to God.
But
I've
they
never
say
heard
it when you die. You don't retire to the country in this game. You die
But
and
it's
you go to the
that's
country.
fine. I hear it around death too, but it's not strictly. It's not a just this video game thing.
I've
That
never
is
heard
I've
a
heard
real
that
life.
phrase,
I
but-
have used that. I've heard that and used that in my life.
I thought when you retired, you went to Florida.
That happens a lot too in New England.
Okay.
Anyway, back to this Royce fight.
Yeah.
I
We'll get back to the
enjoyed
end.
the fact that you're attacking and then losing, like, as you cut each other down, you lose functions.
Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting fight, especially given how like combat was up to this point.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool encountering somebody else who could do what you could do.
Yeah, it's incredibly interesting, but it's also at the end of the day just a DPS race. Like, what DPS do you have to just really kill him as quickly as possible? Also, I was very upset when they load you into this fight and then they take you to the menu and they took all your shit out. It's like, why are you gonna make me redo all the same shit? I'm still gonna use the same shit I've been using the whole game. Why'd you take it all out?
Maybe because like bounce would have been very useful there, while in normal combat it's extremely useful because
So-
you can knock out a bunch of bad cells or some shit.
Yeah, which I did. I had to die to him once before I found out. Oh yeah, invisibility literally does nothing against him. He knows where you are and he hits you anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's useless.
I
But
think that's why.
But it's not like they tell you, hey, don't use this function, don't use that function. There's no reason they couldn't just leave those functions in and then let you redo your setup if you want to. They just take everything
That's
out.
true. Yeah, take everything out and force you to like reconfigure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it annoyed me slightly. That's all.
I can
But
see that.
as a whole, this wasn't like an incredibly difficult fight, but I did like the pacing of it more so. Also, back to all the transistors laying around. How many times do you think Royce has won over Red?
0 because he's a pussy. Fuck him.
But they both
Snap.
both their names start with R's.
So I don't care.
What does that have to do with anything?
Everything.
He is sooner in the alphabet than O, so red wins always.
So after you kill him, you return to the starting point, and you have to basically remake the world. So you just start eliminating the processes in the first area until you get to his body.
Mm.
the stalker's body, and then you clean him off, sit next to him, be like, "You can make me a lampshade now." And he's like, "No, no, no, don't do it." See, he doesn't want to be trapped in with you because now he knows what you're really like.
What do you mean? Wait, he's a stalker, like a converted stalker. Actually, this sucks.
Reverse Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
And then you retire to the country, right?
Yeah, you go to the country.
And then amazing music plays over great credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the idea is that when the guy got stabbed at the very beginning, he went into the transistor, right? So when she stabs
Yes.
herself, is she not also going in the transistor? I don't think either of them are going to the afterlife. They're both going in the transistor.
Into transistor.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. And then they pull the programs back out to redo their scenario.
Yeah.
And you do it over and
Which,
over
honestly,
and over.
I hadn't thought too much about the like recursive program thing until we were talking just now. And I
Yeah,
think
same.
for me, I think that actually makes it better because the ending to this game as it is, if it's not the recursive program thing, is incredibly problematic because they basically say, if your life is terrible, kill yourself and then everything's happy. And that's fucked up.
It's true. It's super fucking true.
After
That's weird.
after working your like, I don't think that's the actual message. I think the message is fight for what you believe in, come to the end, and maybe you're still missing something from your life. Like Red fought through an entire city that she loves to reclaim it, but it still wasn't enough for what she really needed. It's
She had
not
the
about
heart to repaint the whole city, but she chose to be with the person that she loved. I thought it was really nice.
But did
I
she
thought
really
I
love
didn't.
him? Or is he
Yes.
just a smooth talker?
I mean, he is a smooth talker. You're right there.
Maybe this is the only instance of this reoccurring nightmare where he's actually won her over.
Nightmare, dude. You are so on that. It's a fucking nightmare.
So I looked it up in the country for Transistor Wiki is a reference within the Transistor about a place that has not been touched by technology of Cloudbank or its inhabitants. In theory, this is a place which all people of Cloudbank wish to travel to but never come back, according to Roy's bracket.
Interesting.
In some way, this can reference to the afterlife or a place within the Transistor.
Oh.
So the recycle bin right there on my computer. That's where it goes.
Trash.
Trash.
Yeah.
So
It's fine.
So that's basically it. It is what it is, right? Is they just
It's however you want to see it.
retire
Yeah.
to the country and
Yep.
yeah, so so here's my thing with. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to arguing with Ryan about this. I think if she had killed herself and then it was like it showed that frame where she's just sitting there with a sword and the sword's really sad, her boyfriend's sword is really sad and it's awful and sad and depressing.
It's the stalker sword. It sounds better. Stalker
I think
sword.
the message there is that suicide is bad and it makes everybody sad and everything's terrible. But then they cut to the scene at the very end of them on the farm happy, and it portrays suicide as a potentially good thing, and it never is. And I think that's bad to me. I'm not going to tell anybody else their interpretation of the game, but my interpretation,
Right.
like, I super hated that.
that's fair.
No,
Yeah.
I definitely received it as like she did all this shit trying to help him, trying to save him, and then she gained this massive power, but it wasn't enough because she wasn't with the person that she cared about.
that is also how I interpreted it.
But there's two instances now in this game of people killing themselves because somebody else is dead.
Correct.
Yeah,
The
and I think-
brothers.
Yeah,
and,
and I think
and it's just like,
She's not really killing herself though, is she? I mean,
But
she's
she
still
is, though,
living
right?
on in
well, she is. I mean, she is and she isn't, depending on how you interpret it.
That's why I said.
I mean,
in the
he's
Discord
technically
earlier,
not
this whole
dead.
thing is so vague. It's
Yeah, yeah.
definitely.
It's
up
not
to
the
you.
whole thing.
She
There's a lot
doesn't
of
know that she's going to go into the transistor when she dies. Just her function will go into the transistor.
Her trace or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like
Well-
her soul, I guess.
well, I think when you
I
kill a
honestly
living
don't
being, it's
understand-
different. Because
Yeah.
it seems
I don't
like
know.
because the boyfriend died when he was still alive, and he's like actually inside the sword talking to you all the time. All the other people
Yes.
you claim are already dead, and they just go in there as a trace, like a program that you can use, but they don't seem to have a personality once they're in there. So I think it's
That's
different because she
true.
was alive.
He talks to them before they get absorbed. Like when they come up, he'll talk to
true.
them. But then when
Yeah.
they're absorbed, that's just it.
It's just done. Yeah, that's a good point.
No, didn't he talk to Kendall after he absorbed him to find out where Royce was?
No, I don't think so.
No, he
Was
left
that
it. There's a
before we-
message on the
think that was-
computer.
Yeah, I think it was prior to absorbing him.
And he
I'm
talks
pretty
to
sure it wasn't a
Sybil.
message.
he talks to Sybil before she is absorbed to find out where the rest of the Camerata are.
Yeah.
I thought with Kendall was after. All right, fair enough.
Also, if she did get absorbed into the transistor, I thought the whole thing was like, when you go in the transistor, you're alone. There's nothing. So why could they be together? Why were they together?
No, I definitely didn't get that vibe because, like, the sword boyfriend talks regularly about like the other voices he can hear throughout the transistor. He's mentioned that.
What?
I think
Yeah,
there's
there's
that once. That sounds familiar.
There's
Yep.
there's some vague connections to people that are in the transistor that didn't
Oh, I
get
know.
killed by the transistor.
Yeah, I thought it was like a bunch of people were trapped in there, but everybody's trapped in their own like little isolated bubble. Like that's
But
why
if-
he was like, when I look up at the sky, all I see is you. There's nothing, but I look up at the sky and I see you.
I mean, it's when he looks up, but if he definitely did mention being able to hear other voices in the sword. So maybe if you get killed by the transistor, you have a deeper connection to it and you can hear those other voices. But if you're just absorbed after the fact, you're kind of stuck in your own little bubble at that point. So maybe the two people that both got killed by it
The transistor.
can reconnect inside.
But don't you kill Sybil with it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Sybil didn't like you, so now there's girlfriend hate over the stalker.
The girlfriend hate.
Yeah, I
Maybe
guess
Sybil
the
was
only...
in on it. Maybe they're both stalkers.
No.
Dude,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
I kind of got the
No.
vibe that Sybil was gay for Red, and that's why she was all
Could be,
pushy
too.
about it. I think so. If you
So
like,
they're
had
both stalkers.
No, I think she was trying to get the boyfriend out of the way. I think it was all intentional because she told the Camerata that Red was going to be there alone. But the
So she was like, "Oops," and like hit him with the umbrella when he was throwing this, even though he still stepped in front of the sword.
the umbrella.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because she has an umbrella,
Yeah, no,
a
no.
parasol. Oopsie!
Uh oh.
Didn't I do that? All right. Final scores.
9-5.
Tyler,
7.
Chris,
7-5.
Skelly.
Yeah, I would do like a 9.
I'm about a 7.5. Cool. So, I like everything but the story.
Send all your hate mail
like
to us, but don't
favorite part.
unsub. Don't unsub, guys. Just send the hate mail.
Just hate
It's
mail.
still a good game. I mean,
It's a
as
good
far as,
game. I just,
like,
the story couldn't grab. I still liked the game. It's just the story didn't really do anything for me. I mean, it was still better than Bug Snacks.
I thought the story was better than the story in Hades. I loved the story.
I didn't
Yeah.
play much of
as
Hades
far-
yet.
I
so-
mean, and I didn't really get a chance to talk about the music. The music, the Darren Korb soundtrack is so
Oh, it's
fucking
so good.
good.
Yeah,
I
He's
mean,
a phenomenal composer anyway, so anything he puts out is great.
it just
Yeah.
the soundtrack is so good, and the art is so fucking good, and the animation, everything is great. It's just like Tom said, the story, it just the way I interpreted it and the way I just received it all, it just really was in one ear right out the other, over the head. Didn't really care, didn't really matter to me. It was more about the gameplay and the world itself, and it was good, but it's not something that's like I want to go back and do it again. Like I'll probably
Yeah.
never play that game again.
Like, makes me want to play Bastion again because I really
Yeah,
like
that's exactly
Bastion
what
over
I
this.
thought as soon as I finished. I was like, man, I fucking think Bastion is a better game
See,
than this.
it makes me glad I put Bastion down after a half hour.
Wow.
I haven't ever played.
That is such a crazy thing for me to hear. I love it.
I will, in the last year or two, there's been a lot of resurgence of people who don't like Bastion suddenly, but which is fair. It's an older game. Like, and Hades does kind of Bastion's combat, but a million times better. So it's hard to go back. But Bastion, great game, better than Transistor.
What was everyone's favorite enemy?
Probably the jerks.
Really?
Yeah.
I hated the jerks. They fucking
I like
suck.
the snapshots.
Really?
God, I hated them.
I thought it was cool. It's like a little camera.
I liked the man.
No, the man's the worst.
Yeah,
The man's
they
keeping
only-
our checks. Can't like
Yeah.
the man.
Where's my whatever?
I like
we're paying the man all these fucking taxes and we're getting nothing in return.
Bullshit.
I like the young lady. The
Oh yeah, she was cool.
Yeah, that
She had a
one.
really, really cool character design.
I like the dog. Because he's a good dog.
Dope,
Fetch.
dope.
Very good boy.
You could pet the dog.
No, he was mean.
You don't want to pet the evil ones.
Dude,
Yeah,
Bark
but
was
that's
so
a nice one.
strong.
Did you make the two of them where you give them the one and you can have two little ones running around?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
You can
well,
have 2 dogs.
why not?
Who is everyone's favorite character?
The stalker.
Okay.
Red.
All right, everyone else.
Yeah, I just like Red. I think her
Royce.
character design was really cool and bright and vibrant, and she stuck out in that world a lot more than everybody else. So
She was a badass.
Yeah.
You liked Royce?
Yeah, I think Royce was. I mean, he wasn't a good man by any measure, but he was doing what he thought was right for his city in his own way. How can we fault people for that? He's complicated. I liked him.
Yeah, he's kind of hot. I like the Transistor.
The sword?
Yeah,
what's your favorite character? The sword.
the guy inside of the Transistor.
You mean the stalker?
It's Sword Boyfriend.
Yeah, I like Sword
Alden.
Boyfriend. That sounds fucking hilarious every time.
Stalker sword.
Are you gonna play a boyfriend dungeon? I assume. I mean, you have to, Skelly.
Dude, absolutely, 100%. I'm gonna date the Sword. I have to, out of principle.
All right. So that's Transistor, everybody.
This was
Great
a
game.
rough
Everyone
one.
should play it.
This
Yeah.
was a rough fucking episode.
If you have a PS4 and you had it on PlayStation Plus and never played it, you definitely should play it. Yes.
Or on Switch or PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, if,
Or
fucking
if it's
play
on sale, if it's on sale, you know, buy it. You can do it.
I would say I would not pay $20 for it. I'll say that much. I'd probably pay 10. It's a short
Yeah,
game.
it's a shorter game. We didn't mention it's like 3 hours. It's meant to be replayed for sure. I just didn't
Yeah.
like enough to replay it.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
recursive playthrough when I was trying to get all the little beach areas complete and everything else, I played for probably like 10 or 12 hours. There was a lot.
I'm gonna
There's
Tyler it
cancel.
up here and say I beat it and I deleted it.
Wow.
That's how I do it. I beat games and delete that shit, man.
Ain't nobody got hard drive space to be keeping games on there. You ain't
No.
Oh
gonna
yeah, I deleted it too.
play.
I'm not gonna play it again. I've played it twice. I've seen everything there's to see.
I'm
So
keeping it on my
effectively, it's trash. 'Cause
It's recyclable one time.
did you recycle?
One time,
Did
yeah.
you
I played
delete
one
it?
time.
And then
That's
it
not
went back.
recyclable.
Oh yes, because it depreciates every time in value. It's a one-time recycle. Okay.
This is your star
Right.
system. How many times can it be recycled?
Yeah. Hades, on the other hand, could be recycled many times.
So Hades is a better game. That's
No, it's just
Mm-mm.
no, it's not. It's not.
No.
But it's much more recyclable. It's a lot more green.
I never got past 2 clears on Hades, and I don't plan on going back at this point.
You disgust me.
Oh, it's really good. You should definitely at least get credit.
You should get 10 at least.
Yeah. I'm going for the epilogue now. I do love
Probably
Hades.
not.
It's very good.
I didn't even put it on my backlog list when I just remade that last week.
Wow.
Pretty sure I did.
I'm sure.
Where was Hades in your top 10 last year? Right?
It was on there. Remember, I played 12 games. I can see the just very similar to our Resident Evil Spelunk. I can see the great game inside that. It's not great for me.
Fair.
I've
Much
never
like
loved
Transistor
that
isn't great for you, but it's near a 10 for me. It's the last stage has a little bit too much of a difficulty spike, but this is good
Dude,
stuff.
no, we'll get you up to a 10. You just need to do Call and Void.
Let's try to build.
It didn't get you to a 10 though,
Yeah, that's true. But I'm also a pretty bitch.
and you played it twice.
I love that game. Yeah, it's really good, but it's not a 10. I don't think I have a 10 ever. I don't think I ever will. It's just not going to happen.
All right.
There's no perfect game. Every game has flaws.
10 doesn't mean perfect.
Yeah, not
It does,
necessarily.
right here. Right there.
Maybe we should do a special edition podcast where we just talk about the games that are 10s. Because I probably only have like 3.
Bioshock.
Okay.
Infinite.
I don't know.
Bioshock Infinite? What?
It's like one of my favorite games of all time. I love that game.
Well, let's not do the podcast right now, guys. We're already.
I played that game.
I'm a huge Bioshock fan. That's so surprising for
I
me.
played that game like 10 times. I love that game.
Wow.
Why?
I
need
played 2. I think I played 2, 3 times. I played 1, maybe 4 times.
2 is my favorite.
2 is
So
really
we're-
fucking good. It's underrated.
2 is really good.
So we're starting East 9.
Yeah,
Just saying.
Which
Before
Tyler
we
has
get-
already made it to the breaking point of, and we haven't even
It's
started
really
the game.
fucking good, y'all. I can't wait to talk about that one.
Yeah, I played like 50 hours of East 8 in the last month, and I'm really excited to jump into East 9. It's a great
East
series.
9 is fucking fun. I can't wait to talk about that game.
So yeah, that's what we're doing next for the time frame that I don't have in front of me. But
The only reason I
from
did
now.
it is because Little
Calendar,
Nightmares 2 came out, and I'm trying to beat Little Nightmares 2. So,
25th of
So far?
February.
oh yeah.
Okay.
So 25th is our first playthrough, and we're going through Act 3.
Chapter
right?
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3.
Everything.
All the way through Chapter 3.
Yep, all the way through chapter.
Until you see Chapter 4 pop up, basically.
Yep.
Now I'm confused.
Okay, well, you're gonna have a title card, and it's gonna say Chapter 3 end, and you're gonna have a cutscene, and then you're gonna say Chapter 4.
So do I stop at the cutscene?
You can watch the cutscene. We'll forgive you.
Yeah, watch the cutscene because you're gonna have a bunch of dialogue shit pop up, and then it's gonna be Chapter 4, something doll. I can't remember the name of it.
I have to get the game
Spoilers!
first, and
Spoilers!
then we'll figure
Something
it out.
doll. Spoilers.
Very good. Game's super fucking fun. I can't wait to talk about it.
Okay, and then after that we have another game called
Outriders.
Outriders.
And that's
Yeah,
starting in
then-
April.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Cat.
we'll
There's a cat on the screen.
have another game that we didn't decide yet because we're suck at planning apparently.
Probably a Zelda game.
Now I kind of want to do
Yep.
Bastion. I want to get Ryan's hot takes.
Oh boy.
We need more. We need to get them back to the indie hate. What needs to happen?
Yeah, I like
Serious
this indie
indie
game, too.
love for me.
Ah,
The one
Maybe
indie I
like
love,
the
everyone
Madness,
else
but
like.
loves Transistor. That's so fucking
yeah.
crazy to me.
It was
But yeah, we have a channel in our Discord, which again Ryan mentioned at the beginning. You should join. I was kidding when I said you shouldn't join it. I don't know if that came across. Maybe I was being too serious. You should join the Discord, and we have a channel in there where you can recommend games for us to play. And I mean, clearly we're not deciding very well, so give us a recommendation we can't turn down.
and yeah. Thanks for watching.
Or listening.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us, Skelly.
Yay.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we can find another recyclable game
Yay.
later on that you can come back for and talk about stalkers and
No, it was
skin
really
lampshades and.
I'm glad I played
Tom, we
it.
got to plug Saturday night. What
Oh
are we
yeah,
doing?
every Saturday night, Tyler and I do Wasted in Wasteland, where we get drunk and play Wasteland 3 and attempt to not die a lot.
A lot of attempting to not.
We
What
did
is
pretty
it?
all right last time.
What do we usually start? That's like 6 Central or 5 Central.
5 Central, 6 Eastern.
Yeah.
That sound right?
So watch us, and we'll drink. Sometimes these other two yahoos join in. Not always. Who knows?
If I do, I drink.
Maybe we'll
I
find
do, I
another
don't.
drunk person to hop in. Do you think we can get Kyle drunk and have him join us?
No. No idea.
All right. No, all right. Yeah. Worth a shot. But thanks, everybody.
Worth the shot, he says.
Place 9. Bye.
Yep, we're going to play
Yeah.
some East 9.
East
So we'll see you,
Capcom, baby.
was it February 25th?
That's right. For the first part, it's a 3-parter.
Everybody keep waving. Bye.
Well, it's your break. Transistor's a good game.